Have you ever wondered why you frequently wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning? That inexplicable feeling of restlessness that invades you during those hours is not merely a coincidence. For many, it can be unsettling, but Padre Pio offers us a different perspective, helping us understand its true meaning. This nocturnal awakening could actually be an extraordinary sign that deserves our attention. Padre Pio, known for his deep spiritual connection, taught that these moments can be unique opportunities to establish a closer relationship with the sacred. Throughout his ministry, he himself experienced countless nighttime vigils, describing them as privileged moments of prayer and contemplation. His teachings allow us to understand why these awakenings can become a space for spiritual growth and deep reflection. Imagine it for a moment. The night is calm, everything is silent, and suddenly you wake up. You look at the clock and see 3:33 or 4:44. How many times has this happened to you? These patterns, far from being mere coincidences, hold a deeper meaning. According to Padre Pio, the early morning hours are a time when our soul is more receptive to spiritual messages. In the quiet of the night, when the noise of the world fades away, communication with the divine intensifies. Over the years, thousands of people have experienced these awakenings and have felt an inner calling that is difficult to explain. It is not just insomnia or a simple sleep disturbance, but something more. Padre Pio said that each nocturnal awakening is an invitation to something greater, a call to introspection, prayer, and connection with the transcendent. If you have ever felt that these moments carry a deeper purpose, you are on the right path to discovering their true meaning. You are not alone in this experience. All over the world, countless people share this same sense of wonder. Their testimonies reflect a common certainty. These awakenings are not random, but have a special purpose. Through Padre Pio's teachings, we can not only find answers, but also receive practical guidance on how to make the most of these moments and turn them into opportunities for inner growth. The period between 3 and 5 in the morning has been called the holy hour, a time when the veil between the earthly and the spiritual becomes thinner. According to Padre Pio, if you frequently wake up during these hours, it could be a special calling. The early morning, with its calm and silence, offers the perfect setting to receive spiritual messages with greater clarity. In those moments, you may experience an inexplicable sense of peace, or even a sudden urge to pray. These emotions are not coincidences, but manifestations of a higher call that invites us to be attentive. Throughout his life, Padre Pio dedicated long hours of the night to prayer. He knew that in the midst of solitude and silence, the voice of the Spirit becomes more perceptible. His experience teaches us that instead of being disturbed by interrupted sleep or worrying about the fatigue of the following day, we should take advantage of these awakenings to enter a state of contemplation and gratitude. At times, these awakenings may be a sign to pray for someone who needs help at that precise moment. Other times, they are an invitation to reflect on our own lives and the decisions we are making. Every awakening has a purpose. If we pay attention and remain receptive, we can discover what is being communicated to us. Even the repetition of these awakenings at a specific hour may carry an implicit message. Padre Pio reminds us that in the early morning, when the world sleeps, our soul can find answers that during the day remain hidden beneath the noise of routine. If the next time you wake up in the night, you feel that inner calling, do not ignore it. It could be the beginning of a deeper connection with the divine. Padre Pio invites us to pay special attention to nocturnal awakenings, as they may be signs that help us better understand the message we are receiving. For him, these moments were neither a burden nor a nuisance, but spiritual gifts, privileged opportunities to strengthen our connection with the divine. He teaches us that when we welcome them with gratitude and openness, they can become sources of grace and blessing. During these awakenings, he recommends maintaining an attitude of active listening, not only being physically awake, but also opening our hearts and minds to receive what is being communicated to us. The silence of the early morning offers us a unique opportunity to examine our conscience with greater clarity. Padre Pio taught that these moments are ideal for recognizing the areas of our lives that need attention and transformation. It is a favorable time for sincere repentance and for making important decisions that help us grow spiritually. Moreover, he reminds us that nocturnal awakenings can be moments of deep inner healing, instances where, free from distractions, we can connect more deeply with our being and receive the peace we long for. In the stillness of the night, prayer takes on a special strength. It allows us to unite spiritually with those who, anywhere in the world, are going through difficulties. Padre Pio assured that prayer in the early morning has the power to transcend borders and bring comfort to those who need it most. To make meaningful use of these moments, he left us fundamental teachings that can transform our nocturnal awakenings into experiences of spiritual growth. The first thing he recommends is to remain calm. Instead of worrying about lost sleep, we should take deep breaths and recognize that this moment could be a special opportunity. An essential practice he suggested was to begin the moment with a simple yet sincere prayer. It is not necessary to recite long supplications. A brief invocation like, "Here I am, I hear your call," is enough to open the channel of communication with the divine. He also emphasized the importance of discernment, reminding us that not every thought that arises in the early morning is necessarily a spiritual message. For this reason, he advises us to ask ourselves whether what we feel fills us with peace and brings us closer to what is good. Padre Pio suggested keeping a small notebook by the bed to jot down any inspiration or significant thoughts that might arise during the vigil. These notes can help us reflect throughout the day and discern their true meaning. The practice of inner silence is another key aspect. It is not just about being in a quiet environment, but about stilling the mind and heart to be more receptive to the messages we may receive. Another essential point in his teachings is intercession for others. If we wake up with the memory of a particular person, it could be an invitation to pray for them. According to Padre Pio, prayers made in the early morning possess a special strength because they arise from an attentive and available heart. One of the deepest practices he recommended was dedicating these moments to contemplating the Passion of Christ. In the solitude of the night, when the world sleeps, we can spiritually unite with redemptive suffering and find in it the comfort and strength we need for our own struggles. Despite the importance of these awakenings, Padre Pio also warns us about the need for balance. While they can be meaningful experiences, we must take care of our physical rest. It is not about forcing ourselves to stay awake, but about taking advantage of these moments when they occur naturally. Finally, he reminds us that perseverance in these practices is key. At times, we may feel discouraged if we do not experience anything extraordinary in those moments, but faithfulness and consistency in prayer allow us to gradually discover the purpose behind each nocturnal awakening. Perseverance in these practices, even when they seem dry, can bear abundant fruit at the right time. Each nocturnal awakening is an opportunity, and to make the most of it, it is important to approach Padre Pio's teachings with openness and gratitude. As part of this journey, we have prepared a special material for you, our ebook, The Spiritual Secrets of St. Padre Pio. In it, you will find powerful prayers inspired by his life, deep reflections on his teachings, and practical advice to strengthen your faith and live with the spirituality he so passionately conveyed. With great care, we have provided the link to obtain it in the first pinned comment. offering you the opportunity to delve deeper into his spiritual legacy. A practical guideline that Padre Pio left us is to keep a small light or blessed candle near our bed. Not only does it serve a practical function during moments of vigil, but it also symbolizes the spiritual presence that accompanies us in the darkness. Likewise, these awakening moments can be conducive to reading sacred texts. Having brief passages prepared by the bed can nourish the soul during these special hours and allow us to reflect more deeply. The benefits of heeding this early morning call are numerous. The first is a deeper inner peace. Padre Pio explained that in the early hours of the morning, our soul can find a special kind of rest, different from physical rest. A repose that fills us with serenity and allows us to face the day with greater calm, even in difficult moments. Another significant benefit is the development of greater spiritual sensitivity. By being attentive to these awakenings, our ability to discern and understand the messages we receive is refined, helping us make better decisions and be more aware of the needs of others. The early morning hours, according to Padre Pio, are a time when we may be spiritually more vulnerable, but they are also moments in which we can receive special protection if we know how to ask for it. During these hours, he recommends invoking the help of angels, particularly our guardian angel, who, according to him, is especially active at night, ready to protect and guide us. This spiritual dimension of the early morning opens us up to profound personal transformation. Being more receptive, we can receive inspirations that help us improve aspects of our lives, pushing us toward true inner growth. Another great benefit is the strengthening of faith. In the stillness of the night when the world sleeps, the connection with the sacred deepens, helping us hold on to faith even in times of trial. And it is not just a personal benefit, but also an opportunity to help others. Padre Pio taught that prayers made in the early morning have a special power, especially when interceding for others. This practice of nighttime intercession can bring relief and comfort to those who need it most, allowing us to be part of a network of prayer that transcends borders. Regarding physical protection during the early morning, Padre Pio recommended keeping symbolic elements nearby, such as holy water, a rosary, or a blessed medal. Not because these objects hold power in themselves, but because they help create an atmosphere of peace and protection during our vigils. It is also important to guard our minds. He taught us to distinguish between thoughts that bring us peace and those that generate anxiety. Developing this ability to discern allows us to remain calm and truly benefit from these moments of connection. Together, we have explored Padre Pio's teachings on the special significance of waking between 3 and 5 in the morning. These moments, far from being mere interruptions of sleep, can become extraordinary opportunities for our spiritual growth. Let us remember that every awakening may have a purpose: to pray for someone in need, to receive inspiration, or simply to find a moment of peace amid routine. These are gifts that should not be wasted, sacred instants in which the divine calls us to listen, reflect, and strengthen our relationship with the eternal. These special moments hold the power to transform our lives significantly. As we have learned, it is not just about being physically awake, but about keeping our hearts and minds receptive to the messages we may receive during these sacred hours. If you are experiencing these nocturnal awakenings, remember that the most important thing is to remain calm and serene. Apply Padre Pio's teachings. Keep a notebook nearby to record your inspirations. Carry spiritual protection items, and above all, maintain an attitude of openness and gratitude for these unique moments. Padre Pio reminds us that in the silence of the early morning, we can find answers to our deepest concerns. It is during these moments that we can hear more clearly the inner voice that guides and comforts us. If you have felt this special calling during the night, I invite you to share your experience. Write "I have been called" if you identify with these teachings. Your testimony can be of great help to others going through the same experience, reminding them that they are not alone. Thousands of people around the world share these nocturnal vigils, and united in prayer, we can form a network of intercession that crosses borders and brings comfort to those who need it most. I encourage you to look at these nocturnal awakenings with a new perspective, not as a nuisance or an interruption, but as an invitation to deepen your spiritual life. Through Padre Pio's teachings, we can transform these moments into true opportunities for growth and blessing. To continue deepening in his wisdom, I want to extend a special invitation. Our ebook, The Spiritual Secrets of Saint Padre Pio. In it, you will find powerful prayers, reflections inspired by his life, and practical advice for living with greater faith and spirituality. With great care, we have left the link in the first pinned comment. Thank you for accompanying me on this spiritual journey. May God bless you always.